morning everyone. Till now we have finished chapter number 1 and chapter number 2 of class 12 history, right? So today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter number 3, right? So class 12 history, theme number 3 or chapter number 3. Now if you remember, in chapter number 2 we discussed about kings, farmers and towns in chapter number 2, right? Theme number 2 of early state and economic. And the time frame that we have studied between 600 BC to 600 CE, right? BC to 600 AD. Right? Now in this chapter, chapter number 2 that we have already discussed, we discussed about different kinds of king of ancient India, like this Ashoka, Gupta, Mauryan kings, right? Then also we have studied about different kind of agriculture activities, right? Farming activities. And also we study about this development of agriculture production in the ancient India between this period. And then we also discussed about the different town emerged during the ancient India between this period, right? 16 Mahajana Pratas and different dynasties that we study all about, right? So on the whole, we discuss about political and economic history of ancient India between this period, 600 BC to 600 CE, during the chapter number 2, right? Chapter number 2. Now, today we are going to start about the chapter number 3, and the chapter number 3 or theme number 3 is all about kinship, caste and class of early societies. Right? Now, the time frame that we are going to study about is same between 600 BC to 600 CE or BC to AD, right? Now, the time frame of chapter number 2 and chapter number 3 is same, but the topic that we are going to discuss about, the theme that we are going to discuss about is different. In chapter number 2, we discuss about political and economic history, right? Now, in this chapter number 3, we are going to discuss about social history of ancient India, social behavior, social structures, different kind of caste system in society, the condition of women, about the family, we are going to learn about in this chapter number 3. So, chapter number 2 about economic and political history, chapter number 3 about social history, but the time frame is same between 600 BC to 600 CE. Understood? Okay, now it's very important for you to know the meaning of chapter, right? Before we move to the next, the main topic, first it's really very important for you to know the meaning of kinship, caste and class, right? So, what do you understand by the term kinship? See, the kin means K-I, and kin literally means your cousins, right? Your sibling, your brothers, your sisters, your lineage, your family, right? Kin means your family. It means having a blood relationship, right? Kinship means having blood relationship, means your family, right? Just I'm O positive and my fathers and mother also O positive. So we have a blood relationship, right? That's why we are family. See over here. Family, happy family, I would call. Hum do, hamara do, right? Happy family. That is kinship. Kin means family, right? So in this chapter, we are going to study about different kind of family structures during the ancient India. Understood? And second, caste. Caste is social divisions on the basis of wealth, rank, profession, and race, right? It's a kind of social division in the society on the based on rank, right? High rank and low rank. And the wealth, how much economic or wealth do you have, and profession, work, I'm profession, I'm teaching as my profession, right? Then race, right? So by looking at this, we know about we are going to study about caste. In ancient India, right, between this, in ancient India, in the Dharma Shastra mentioned about the 4 castes of ancient India, right? We have this Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Shudras. According to Dharma Shastra and Sutras, these are the 4 different castes that prevail in ancient India, right? Brahmanas, they used to do with, they engaged with the work of teachings and the preaching of the religion, right? So Kshatriya, they are administrators, they are rulers, kings. Vaishyas, they usually do the economic activities, farming, business, right? And then Shudras, the lowest caste, and Shudras people need to serve above all this for higher varna, I would call. Now, caste is an English word, right? In Hindi or in Hindi we call it varna system. Varna system. Understood? Now, the last is class. Class is a division based on the economic. Right? How much wealth do you have? Or you can say a group of people who share a common economic or social status. That is also called class, right? Till now, we know about this class, right? High class, low class, middle class, right? Just like those persons like Ambani, Tata, and these white collars, those who used to entrepreneur, they all are high class because they own, they have lots of wealth, right? And then middle class people, right? They have enough money, right? Now see, the low class people are just like these migrant workers, right? Right now they're facing a huge problem because of this lockdown, right? So they are considered as a low class. On the basis of economic, I'm saying on the basis of economic, they are considered as a low class. Okay. Now in this chapter number 3, we are going to study about kingship, caste, and class, social history of ancient India, the time frame between 600 BC to 600 AD. Understood? Okay. Now first, introduction of chapter. Now see, in chapter number 2, right, when we study about these towns and these farmers and kings, right, when we study about this topic, archaeology have lots of sources, right, different kind of sources, like inscriptions were there, then we have coins were there, prashastis were there, monuments were there, then different kind of artifacts were there, and archaeology finds were there, right, finds were there. But when it comes to study about this, kings and economics and rulers, right, these sources are pretty much, this efficient, right, good enough. But now to study about the social history, the best source is textual sources, right? Textual sources is the best or authentic sources to understand the social history. See, archaeological source is good enough, but when archaeology or when history want to study about the social history, archaeological finds will not that much efficient enough, right? Or that kind of find or that kind of sources will not able to provide enough evidence about the social history. Suppose if you found this coin, it will not that much tell about what the common people social history, right? So text is the best sources to know about ancient history. Now why text is the best sources to understand the social history? Because text contain different kind of the social behaviors, social norms, social situation and social practice used to follow by the ancient India people, right? The text contain the people way of life, how people used to live, their way of eating, their way of practice, different kind of practice. See, text, right? And this social behavior, social situation, and social practice. In the social practice, we have this marriage practice over there, right? Then we also have this condition of women also there. Then about the family, right? So different kind of practice we know about by looking at the text. So that's why text is the best source to know about social history. Understood? Of ancient India. Now this historian, now they want to study about the ancient India social history, right? For that, the best text that they have or to know about the ancient history is Mahabharata, right? Now the Mahabharata text is best sources for archaeologists, for historians to study about the ancient history of social history. Understood? Now you know about Mahabharata, right? Mahabharata. Right now, during the lockdown, that government of India, retelecast the Mahabharata in its Doordarshan, right? So there may be some reason behind for doing this, because Mahabharata, even today's world, right, matters a lot, right? Now, what is Mahabharata? The Mahabharata, you know about, right? It's a Mahabharata, the story about between two these cousins, right? The Pandavas and Kauravas, right? About they fought for the land of Hastinapur, right? This throne of Hastinapur, they both belongs to the Kuru Janpat, right? Mahabharata, during the Mahajanapatas, out of the 16 Mahajanapatas, this Kuru Janpat, they belongs to Kuru Janpat. They fought the war for this Hastinapur throne, right? And at the end, the Pandavas win the war, and that is all about the Mahabharata, right? Now, historians consider Mahabharata as an epic, closer epic. Now, the closer means, the meaning of closer itself is majestic, right? Huge, enormous, dynamic, right? The Mahabharata is dynamic, epic means story. Mahabharata is considered very important because that's matter a lot. Even in Indian today, people, almost all India, I would say, they know about the Mahabharata. That's why Mahabharata matters a lot. It's a dynamic text we have. So that's why it's also one of the best texts to know about the social history. So that's why it's called colossal epic. We have also this Ramayana also there, right? Then Mahabharata was composed. It was composed on 500 BC onward. Now, compose here means start writing. Mahabharata was start writing on circa 500 BC. That does not mean that Mahabharata started from 500 BC. No, it will start writing on 500 BC. But oral story of Mahabharata was there before 500 BC. Understood? So that you need to keep in your mind. The oral story of Mahabharata was there before 500 BCs, right? But start writing on 500 BCs. And the credit goes to this sage Vedvyasa, who were considered as the author of Mahabharata. Right? We know all about it. Now, they also consider Mahabharata as the richest text in the subcontinent because it contained 1 lakh verses. Now, 1 lakh verses here refers to stanza. Right? In English, we call it stanza also, right? Now, Mahabharata was written in this a poetic way or rhythmic way, in a poem way, right? So it's written in a rhythmic, poetic way. So that's why it's contained 1 lakh verses in 18 chapters. So see how rich the text Mahabharata was, right? Now, the central story, right, and the story of Mahabharata revolve around the warring cousin, 2 warring cousins. Right now, I told you before, right, about the warring cousin. These 2 cousins are Pandavas and Kauravas, right? Now, Pandavas are the 5 sons of this Pandu, right? And the Kauravas were the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, right? So these both Pandu and Dhritarashtra were the brothers. So they fought, Pandavas and Kauravas fought against each other for the throne of the Hastinapur. And that led to the Kurukshetra war, right? So at the end, the Pandavas came as a victory and they ruled this Kuru Janpad, presently this Haryana and Punjab. Understood? So the Mahabharata is all about, the story is revolved around these warring cousins. Now, if you think Mahabharata is popular only because of this war, then you are wrong. Because yes, of course, this Kurukshetra war is very important, right? Story episode of Mahabharata. But Mahabharata is also important because Mahabharata contains different kind of social norms, social practice, right, that used to follow by the ancient people. That's why Mahabharata is considered important, right? Why itself important, but at the same time, Mahabharata also contains different kind of social practice, social norms need to carry on or need to follow by different social groups that we have in ancient India. Understood? So that's why Mahabharata is important. If you think only war is important, then that's not true. Understood? That's why Mahabharata is very important. Because the Mahabharata text contain norms, means rules, different kinds of rules for various social groups. Social group we have, right? There was 4 social groups were there in ancient social category or social hierarchy we have. This for the Kshatriya, the Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Shudras. And also we have these untouchables, right? Dalits were there. Understood? So that is all about the intro of chapter. So on the whole, in this chapter, we are going to study about the ancient India, of social history of ancient India, and we take this Mahabharata text as a face value to study about the ancient social history. Understood? Now, the first topic of your chapter number 3 that we are going to discuss about today is critical edition of Mahabharata. Right? Now, first, you need to, what do you understand by the term critical edition? Now, critical edition is to produce a book as close as to the original text, right? Now, suppose Mahabharata was written in different language, right? Almost all India, from this Jammu Kashmir to Nepal, then from the Tamil Nadu till the Tamil Nadu, the story of Mahabharata was there in all the texts, right? So different stories were there. Now, if historians want to know about the exact or authentic story, so they don't have, because Mahabharata was so popular, so dynamic that all the language, it was written in every language. Now, what I think was, I think only in the 19th century, I think the Indian historian, they start taking Mahabharata as a serious, because before, I don't think, right, After the 19th century, then they start paying a little bit more attention about the Mahabharata. So that's why what they did, they produced a critical edition of Mahabharata. So now, what is critical edition? To produce a text as close as possible to original text. Right now, I told you, right? Now, in the 19th century, in 1919, there was a big project that was happening in India, scholarship project, to make a critical edition of Mahabharata, which was led by the historian called V.S. Suthanga, right? Very noted and is very expert in Sanskrit, right? So V.S. Suthanga and his team, they start a project to make a critical edition of Mahabharata. Now what they want to do, they want to produce a text, right? Authentic text of Mahabharata, right? So that everybody would say, oh, that is the authentic text, right? So they want to produce a text because Mahabharata was written in different language. So we don't have, exact this authentic book. We say that, oh, that is the authentic book because every language has different stories were there. On that, there were different kind of, so variations were there, different kind of variations, different stories were there, right? So their work is to prepare a critical edition of Mahabharata. Now, V.S. Suthanga preparing critical edition of Mahabharata. Not only him, he and V.S. Suthanga lead the team, and with him, he has his group start this project. You see, V.S. Suthanga, right? Very handsome, at the same time very intelligent, right? Very expert in Sanskrit language. Now, what is their work? Now, their work is to collect all the Sanskrit, manuscript. Now, manuscript means, manu means hand, right? And script means writing. Whatever text wrote by the hand is called manuscript. Now, their work is now this V.S. Suthanga and his team, what they did, they collect all the manuscript written in various languages about the Sanskrit, about this Mahabharata. From the almost all India, they collect different texts of Mahabharata written in different language, right? Now, what their work, now it's very painstaking, very difficult job because now their work is to collect all the stories, right? And then they need to compare which one is common and which one is exaggerated or different stories were there. See, their work is their work is first they select the words that common to most of the version. Now, if they collect, first what they did, they collect all the Sanskrit texts, Mahabharata texts written in different languages, right? Now, what they did, they select all the words, means all the stanzas are common to the most. Suppose if there was a Mahabharata text in the Tamil and there was a Sanskrit or Mahabharata text in this Gujarati, right? Now, if they compare both, there were different stories were there. What they do, they collect all the common, these stories, right? And sometimes what happened, different texts have a different stories, sometimes what author used to do, people used to write Mahabharata according to the audience, right? That's why some text has exaggeration stories about there. So their work is to filter or this separate, or they need to collect all these common verses. So to produce one book, that book we call it critical edition of Mahabharata, not book text, right? So now that is the original or critical edition or authentic story about Mahabharata. We can take that book as a face value. Understood? Now that is their work. Now if you think that is, it sounds like easy work, then you're wrong, because that kind of text contained 13,000 pages and it took 47 years to complete. Now see, it's a very difficult job, right? To produce the critical edition of Mahabharata, it took almost like 47 years. And see, it contained 13,000 pages. Right now in our history textbook, part 1, we have only this 100 and around like 112, 13 pages. See, we feel very headache and fed up by learning all this. Only one textbook now. See, what about the 13,000 pages? And it took 47 years. So that is really painstaking process, right? And very this I would say very blessing work done by V.S. Suthanga and his team. Because of that, right now, whatever story about the Mahabharata that we heard till now, this Dice game, Draupadi marriage, Bhima and Hidamba marriage, all are written in this critical edition of Mahabharata. So, in future, in exam, if there was a question about, 1 marks question about who prepared the critical edition of Mahabharata, Then you have V.S. Sutagar in 1919. First, you have 1 mark question. And second, if there is question about write a short note on critical edition of Mahabharata, so your answer would be just like that. Understood? So that is for today. And I have a very small or very this interesting homework for you. What you need to do is just watch that Mahabharata, animation movie, right? It was directed by Aman Khan. Right? If you use the Netflix, then that was available in Netflix, right? If you are not using this Netflix, right, then you can find from YouTube or anyone else. Okay? But do watch this short clip. It almost it will take 1.5 hours. But if you watch that movie or watch that animation, it will help you to learn this chapter more easy. On that, it will give you little bit this concept or clarification about the Mahabharata. Understood? So it's really very important, and please do watch that Mahabharata short movie. Understood? Okay, so next topic we are going to learn in the next video. Thank you.